Hello, Hotchkiss High School students and parents. Thanks for watching this short video. The purpose of this video is to explain our hybrid model in a little bit more detail, go over the role of a parent in this new world and how parents can help support their kids. We will also talk about our virtual day expectations of students. We will review some things about Chromebooks and other devices in the internet, and then we'll talk about a few adjustments for the upcoming week of August 24th. So once again, thanks for your time. We'll try to keep this short and hopefully answer a few questions that you might have. So many of you know our plan for this year with the red, white days. Students will be in person every other day and then expected to attend virtually every other day. So, and that virtual expectation is going to change a little bit. It'll be different than it was last spring, but we'll talk a little bit more about those details as we go. As far as the in-person days go, the expectations will be that it'll be business as usual, just like it was last spring and for many years before that. So, again, a big part of what we want to do, what we want to cover in this video is trying to answer questions so that parents know how they can help support their child, their students' teachers, and all that kind of stuff. So the biggest thing that I would emphasize to begin is that we need the help of parents this year. Our teachers are working really hard to learn about new resources and technology to keep kids engaged at home, but we certainly need the help of parents. So this year more than ever, if you can stay involved and stay engaged, we would appreciate the support and the partnership. First and foremost, take care of your students' social and emotional well-being. Before we can get to academics or grades or graduation plans, we have to make sure we take care of our kids and make sure they're in the right mindset to learn, whether it's in person or virtually. So please pay attention to your students' mindset, their mood, their attitude, and all that kind of stuff. And if you have any concerns, let us know. We have some supports in place or some supports that we can offer if you're worried in that regard. Obviously, a big part of the year will be academics. So make sure you celebrate the successes or overcoming some of the shortcomings or failures. And our staff will do everything we can to help kids succeed while they're in person and while they're at home. Encourage your student to self-advocate, to ask questions when they don't know. Although it's not ideal, we're not back 100% in person. We are thankful that we'll at least get to see kids every other day in person. We think that'll be a big adjustment and improve our results and some of the lessons that we learned last spring. So the more you can encourage your son or daughter to reach out to his or her teachers, the more successful it's going to be. By all means, if you don't feel like a question gets answered or an issue gets resolved, feel free to reach out to our staff members either by email or phone. Email generally is the easiest way for them to communicate during the school day, but I know most of them will do everything they can to return a phone call and stuff like that. A couple communication pieces. Communication is one of our 4 big goals this year to hopefully keep you all in the loop. We have, let me present my screen here. We have all of our information on our school website, and we will do everything we can to keep that up to date. So if you have questions, this might be a great first place to look. I will share our school website with you. Right front and center on that page, we have all of the resources that we have posted or emailed out or put on Facebook. We have them all in one place for you, starting with our calendar of red and white days. I know some students and families are worried about keeping track of that. The very first link on there will take you to a copy of the district calendar, and then we have our red and white days filled in. If your student would like a hard copy of that, feel free to send them to the office and we can get them a copy of that. We also have right below that on the school website, we have our bell schedule, which might be an important thing to keep track of as we will be asking students to log in at a specific time from home on those virtual days. So again, both of those things are linked on our school website. If you would like hard copies of those, if you don't want to print them yourself, we have those available in the office. So that's a great way to stay in the loop with what's going on. As far as changes go or updates go, we will do everything we can to post it there for everybody to keep track of. So our normal ways that you've probably been familiar with in the past, Power School is a great way to stay in touch with your students' grades, attendance. Students will be accountable. We will take attendance for virtual days, so they need to be logged in. We'll talk a little bit more about those expectations in a minute. But if you do not have your parent login information for Power School, please contact the school. It doesn't take much time for us to get you that information, and you can either log in from your computer or you can download the app onto a mobile device. So Power School is a great way. It's probably our teacher's #1 way of communicating with parents and students as far as progress is concerned that way. Google Classroom will be our way of communicating virtually with students this year. All of our teachers have set up Google Classrooms for each of their classes, so that's how students will go in and join Google Meet, which will be the online forum for students joining class, so to speak, from home. If you did not set up parent access on Google Classroom last year, just contact the office and we basically have one teacher give you permission as a parent, and then you will either receive nightly or weekly updates depending on your preference on whether your student turned in work or has missing work for the week. It's a little bit different access than what your student will see, but it's pretty user friendly as far as the parent goes. So if that's something you have not set up yet and you'd like to, either contact one of your students' teachers, or you can contact the office and we can set that up for you. So again, your involvement is going to be huge for us, for our teachers, to keep kids engaged, especially on those virtual days. I know many of you may not be home on those days, but if you can encourage and have a check-in for your son or daughter as far as whether they're completing what they need to virtually, we would appreciate the support. So now we want to transition into our virtual day expectations, specific expectations for what students will be required to do on the days that they are at home. Again, the in-person days aren't going to change very much. It's going to be the virtual days that are going to be a shift for people. So I'm going to present my screen again. Hopefully you can see this. Give just a minute to load. So there's another link. I'm going to go back to the school, our school website. Again, hhs.deltaschools.com. You can also just search Hotchkiss High School, and this should be the first link that pops up. So a big section right in the middle here is our virtual day information and expectations. The first thing that's on there is a link to our student social contract and expectations. So that link will take you to this document, which is basically a page that's been worked on by our staff, agreed upon by our staff for each of our classes. So we'll kind of run through this. Again, we call it a social contract, as it's kind of an agreement of behaviors, what our teachers will expect our students to do in most classes. There's a few exceptions that the teachers will talk about, but primarily these will be the expectations. So the two big things on our end, the two categories, be present and be accountable. So you can see the bullet points that are under be present. Our goal is for our students to adopt an in-person at-school mindset. I'm going to do everything I can to learn as much as I do in person, even though I'm at home. The expectation, again, I mentioned this earlier, to join a Google Meet on time. The bell schedule's there. Some students have talked about setting an alarm in their phone, so when they're at home, they know when they need to get on for which class. They need to have their camera on for attendance at a minimum, and each teacher will let them know what the expectation is at that point. And the whole goal on that is just for our teachers that are in their classrooms to make a connection as they take attendance to make a connection with the kid, just as they would if they were walking in their classroom or something like that in person. The bottom three bullets kind of go together. Dress appropriately, be presentable. Other kids are going to be on that meet and all that kind of stuff. Set up a workspace that can be used every day. And then students should do their best to limit distractions. We know being home will be different than being in class, but the more we can do what we can to limit distractions, the easier it'll be for students to pay attention and again adopt that. I'm going to learn as much as I would if I was in person learning right now. So moving on, the other side of it is to be accountable. Participation will look different, obviously, in different classes, but generally that could be participate in discussions, Google Meet chat, ask questions as you would as though you were in class, and then complete all assignments and turn them in and that kind of stuff. The next bullet point on there, academic honesty. As far as cheating goes, it's different that they're not in the same room with our staff members. So if they can adopt that same mindset as though they were in class as far as being honest and turning their own work in, etc. Again, there's communicating with teachers, self-advocating for themselves, huge skill for our high schoolers to learn. And then the bottom one on there is something else we want to get into. If students have trouble with technology, so that could be an issue with their Chromebook, could be an issue with their internet access at home, anything technology related, we know those issues are going to come up throughout the year. What we've done, if you look at the bottom bullet point down here on the notes, what we've done is we've created a form. It's linked on our website. When you click the link on our website, it will take you to a form that looks like this. So basically, we're just asking students to be accountable. And if they're having technology issues, they go in. It's very simple. They fill in their name, their date, which classes they missed, and then they explain what issue they're having. Again, if it's a Chromebook issue or an internet issue, and then what steps can they take to fix the issue. And then Mr. Egging and myself will do what we can to follow up with these students if there's something we can do to help. If students do this and it's a legitimate reason, then we will change that absence that they get because they did not attend the virtual session. We will change that to an excused absence. So this is just a way for students to let us know in an organized manner so they don't feel like they have to email all of their teachers right then and there. They can fill this out and let us know what classes they missed. We are going to ask that the students still follow up with the teacher the next day to see what they missed and all that good stuff. So again, going back to this social contract and expectations, the only other part we hadn't talked about was that specific expectations may vary by class or teacher, for example, PE or something like that. A couple other notes that aren't on that sheet. Students will not be required to log in for advisory, which is from 9:48 to 10:08 in the morning. It's in between second hour and third hour. So students that are virtually attending virtually that day will have that 20 minutes as a break in the middle of the day. That should hopefully help break up that time that they're spent or they have to spend in front of the computer. Students also do not have to attend if they have an open hour or a study hall. Those can be done at home without having to check in for attendance purposes. Couple other things, obviously devices are very important if students are expected to complete every other day at home or participate every other day at home. So all students should plan on having their own device that they can also bring to school on in-person days, or they can check out a school-issued Chromebook. That involves two parts. There's a Chromebook technology use agreement that's standard in the district. Students and parents have to sign that and turn it in. And there's also a $35 annual fee that goes along with that. So once students have those two things checked in, we can check a Chromebook out to them. A lot of students got those on either Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday last week, and we will do our best to get those out to the rest of the students Monday and Tuesday. If that fee is an issue, certainly reach out to Mr. Egging or myself, and we will do what we can to work with you so that your son or daughter has a device for those virtual days. Also, if internet access is an issue, please reach out to us. that's something that we can help with or look at alternatives for. A couple other things on technology. If your student is having issues with their Chromebook or something happens, a screen breaks or a key is missing, have them let Mr. Egging know. Bring the device in on an in-person date, give it to Mr. Egging. He can let them know what the plan is, and usually we can get them a loaner for the time being until we can fix their device. So we know technology issues are going to happen. We like to think we've thought of ways to curtail them, and we'll do our best to make sure students have what they need in order to be successful on those virtual days. Again, as far as communication goes, we will do our best to keep our website updated. We will push emails out and post on our Facebook page, similar to how we have in the past for those of you that have had a student in our building. One other change that we've made from the information we sent out last week, this week, so tomorrow being August 24th, we were going to require or ask white day students to log in. We're going to push that expectation back until Wednesday. So the Monday the 24th will be red day students only, no requirement for white day students. Tuesday the 25th will be white day students only, no requirements for red day students. And then starting on Wednesday the 26th, red day students will attend in person and white day students will attend virtually. Again, that'll give another day for our teachers to give out those expectations specific to their class and what day it is. So starting Wednesday will be the big kickoff of our online and virtual true hybrid plan. Other than that, again, thank you for your time and patience. Certainly, as we've developed this plan, we know this year will involve some unexpected turns and things we haven't thought of, but we will do our best to deal with those issues as they come and keep kids safe. And ultimately, we're hopeful that at some point in the fall, we will be able to return to 100% in person every day, so we don't have the challenge that is virtual learning. But until then, I know our teachers have worked really hard throughout the summer, especially over the last 2 weeks to prepare for the upcoming year. So if you have any questions, again, check the website first and foremost. There's quite a few resources on there. If that doesn't get you an answer to what you're looking for, please feel free to contact us at the school and we'll do our best to get you an answer in a timely fashion. So once again, thank you for watching this video and have a great day.